Good, happy Wednesday morning, September 15, 2021. I'm Riley King. Welcome to this Wednesday morning edition of the Morning Show with Riley King. It's time to rise and shine and grab that good cup of coffee. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this Wednesday morning edition of the Morning Show with Riley King, where we have a little bit of everything for you in this program. So let's get started and let's begin right now. First step, Delta variant targeting unvaccinated, leading to rise in pediatric cases. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Young athletes, whatever you want to do in life, you just...
Across the country, COVID-19 is surging as the highly contagious Delta variant continues to spread. According to data from the Centers for Disease Control, 63% of Americans 12 and up are fully vaccinated, and nearly 74% have received at least one dose. But the CDC director, Rochelle Walensky, says well over 90% of people who are in the hospital are unvaccinated, and that includes children. In the last 2 weeks alone, nearly 500,000 kids tested positive for COVID-19, according to the American Academy of Pediatrics. ABC News medical contributor Dr. Darian Sutton is here with more on this. Dr. Sutton, thanks so much for being here. It's great to have you, especially here in the studio. So what do you make of this rise in pediatric cases? What brought us here, and how do we bring it down?
This is something that's to be expected, sadly, especially in the setting of the more transmissible Delta variant. It is targeting those who are unvaccinated, which unfortunately are children, especially those under the age of 12 who are not vaccinated. Ways that we can mitigate or decrease the risk of transmission includes very basic steps, which is vaccinating everyone around these children and using mitigation efforts when these children are in close contact with each other. And that includes ventilation, spacing when possible, masking, and all of these efforts combined. And I really believe that they can truly decrease the rates of COVID-19.
Now, a school district in North Carolina just decided to ditch most of the quarantine protocols and contact tracing. They now say that students and teachers and other staff members only have to isolate if they themselves have tested positive or if they have symptoms. So how effective is that compared to the normal quarantine protocols of, for example, quarantining if you've had close contact with somebody else who tested positive, regardless of whether or not you are showing symptoms or have tested positive yet?
I do not think that this is a safe plan. Unfortunately, I have seen how this plays out, and many of these people end up in the emergency room with me as their physician. So we contact trace to identify those who might be infectious or at risk of getting an infection, and we quarantine those to isolate those who might be infectious. And it's important to understand that those who are infected with COVID-19 are most infectious 2 to 3 days before they develop symptoms. So that allows for a lot of unwanted transmission to go on. So if we want to keep kids in school and keep outbreaks low, it's really important to use these mitigation efforts combined with masking and vaccination to make sure that we keep kids safe and keep schools open.
And now we often hear about the schools that are dealing with big outbreaks, but are there schools where you're seeing success stories that you think are doing this especially well and can serve as a good model to keep kids in school and keep them safe?
Absolutely. Actually, last week, San Francisco Department of Health just released information regarding their outbreaks. And what they found was that in their public school district, which has 90% of those who are aged 12 to 17 who are vaccinated, they had 0 outbreaks. So it just goes to show that basic mitigation efforts, including vaccinations, can really decrease the risk of transmission and keep kids out of the hospital.
And I want to shift away from kids in schools for a second, because a new study conducted in the UK now says that vaccinated people who experience breakthrough cases are less likely to have long hauler symptoms. How important is that finding?
So I've been experiencing this with a lot of patients who are coming in with long haul syndrome. And basically the way that we identify it is patients often have symptoms of COVID-19 with 1 to 2 weeks duration. Some of those patients, unfortunately, approximately 33%, go on to develop some type of a long-term symptom. And that can include mental fogginess, headaches, fatigue, shortness of breath, palpitations, and that can last for 4 weeks or longer beyond the initial infection. What this study found was that those who were vaccinated had almost half the rate of long haul syndrome. And so it really shows that it could be effective in helping a lot of patients who feel unheard.
All right, Dr. Darian Sutton, it's always great to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Apple releases emergency software update. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
So, if you have a flat tyre, dead battery, need a tow, or lock your keys in the car, Geico's emergency roadside assistance is there 24/7.
Someone help me! I have a flat tyre!
Well, good for me. What do you think? Geico.
Tonight, Apple revealing its new iPhone, but also sharing the headlines with something else. Apple also releasing an emergency software update for iPhones, iPads, watches, and Macs. That patch fixing a flaw possibly allowing spyware to secretly infect devices without even clicking on anything. The company is worried it can access the camera, the mic, texts, and emails. Apple urging people to install the update right away. Go into Settings, look for the software update, and then download it.
Hi, everyone. George Stephan.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Pfizer announces timeline for child vaccinations. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
The dangerous surge in child COVID cases, and tonight here, Dr. Anthony Fauci with a clearer picture of when to expect vaccines for children and if he expects there will be boosters for adults in the U.S. Tonight, the UK now planning to give boosters to adults 50 and over to prepare them for the winter ahead. Here's Stephanie Ramos.
For millions of parents eager to know how soon their younger children can finally get a vaccine, tonight, a clearer picture. Pfizer today revealing it will submit data from its trial for 5 to 11-year-olds to the FDA in early October, followed by trial data for children 6 months to 5 years old in the weeks after. Dr. Anthony Fauci expects the FDA to authorize the first shots for elementary-age kids as early as mid-October.
I believe it will work out this way, that by the time we get to the mid-fall, October or so, that we will have the capability of giving vaccines for Pfizer.
We met the Bowie family in New Orleans when all 3 children took part in Pfizer's vaccine trial at Ochsner Health. Both parents are doctors. 6-year-old Ellie, 3-year-old Christian, and 14-month-old Sloan getting shots.
We're not 100% sure that the kids got the vaccine yet, but just knowing that they have a chance and that they have that little extra layer of protection makes me much more at ease with sending them back to school.
Tens of millions of children are back in classrooms, but less than 40% of 12 to 17-year-olds who are eligible for the vaccine are fully vaccinated. In Ohio, cases spiking 2,000% since early August. Hospitals are full.
All of our children's hospitals are overwhelmed.
Across the country, children making up almost 30% of COVID cases last week. And after 2 top scientists who are leaving the FDA argued in The Lancet it was premature to give boosters to the general public because the vaccines offer strong protection against serious disease, Dr. Fauci today pushing back.
You have clearly waning of immunity against infection and clear-cut indication of waning of immunity against severe disease.
And he expects the FDA advisory panel to support boosters when it reviews the data on Friday.
Myself, as a scientist who have seen some of the data, I believe when you look at that data carefully, there's going to be a decision to actually give the boost as opposed to not giving it.
Well, there you hear it, Stephanie. Dr. Fauci predicting the FDA will greenlight boosters in the U.S. And tonight, the UK will now give adults 50 and older booster shots.
Exactly, David. It's part of their winter strategy. Britain will give people a booster shot, those people over the age of 50, starting with older people, healthcare workers, and those with underlying conditions. The government says the primary choice is the Pfizer booster shot, regardless of what vaccine was originally given. David.
Stephanie Ramos. Stephanie, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephan.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And we are going to switch gears now, and let's go into the weather. And here is a look at your weather across the United States for this Wednesday. As you can see in the green here, you got rain/thunderstorms. And then over here, just rain. In the blue, mixed precipitation. In the yellow, some severe thunderstorms possible. In the red, heavy rain / flash flooding possible. And then here, and here, and here, and here is all dry. And that is a look at the weather across the United States for this Wednesday. And let's switch gears now, if we can. And let's take a look at this. Simone Biles does these 4 things to protect her mental health. Let's take a look.
I just left the house, and 10 minutes later, my alarm was going off. Before I could do anything...
Life after Tokyo has been very unusual. It's definitely not normal, but the conversation in the mental health space obviously is very different, but I'm excited to at least bring light to athletes and people all over, because I know it's something that we all struggle with, but considering the circumstances we're in, you just have to take it day by day. I feel like to protect my mental health, the main thing is like hanging out with family and friends and people that you're comfortable with to kind of be distracted. But another thing that works for me is I go to therapy, and I also know this doesn't help everybody, and everybody's different as well, but I'm also medicated just to help relieve stress and anxiety and depression, and it's also nothing to be ashamed of. So if you guys are going through something similar, then I'm here with you, and you're always an open space on my platforms. It's okay to take care of yourself, because at the end of the day, if your mind and your body aren't intact, then obviously there will be that disconnect, and you'll have a lot more of a good time if all of those are intact. So just make sure to take care of yourself first, and everything else will fall in place. I honestly feel like doing gymnastics is a little bit less stressful than like going to the VMAs or the Met, because it's definitely out of my element, but it's kind of nice that we can go mat to mat. So it's just exciting. There's a lot of people that inspire me. Naomi Osaka has done a really great job at shining a light, as well as Michael Phelps. So I think if athletes keep speaking up, then I think we're doing our job, and it will be talked about a little bit more, because at the end of the day, we are human. We're not just athletes and entertainment.
Okay, there you go. Very good. Good tips there from Simone Biles. And let's take a look at this. Billie Eilish channels old Hollywood glamour in stunning gown at the Met Gala. Let's take a look.
This look? I know! I wasn't getting ready. So many things. So scary, so exciting, and oh my god, I'm here, I made it, we're alive. How does it feel? I feel so excited. This is like the most exciting thing I've done in my life. So yeah, that makes 2 of us. Who are you wearing? Oscar de la Renta. Yes. And it's literally the most beautiful dress I've ever seen. Everybody was a joy to work with, and so kind and listening to all of my ideas, and like respected everything that I wanted, and like didn't want to make me because I'm not used to this. Yeah, I was gonna say your style has evolved. Yes. Why did you do a dress like this to celebrate America? You know, I just love Hollywood, and I love, kind of everything from that era. Just like, I don't know, just like classic American, like style. I don't know. It's hot in here. If you don't know, but you nailed it. You nailed it. You have so much fun tonight.
Okay.
Did you know Geico could save you hundreds on...
Very cool. Looks like a good outfit as well. And let's switch gears now, and let's go into some entertainment news. And in your entertainment news, watch Justin Bieber perform Baby at the Met Gala 2021. Let's take a look at that right now.
Why should people come to BSU for social work? It's affordable.
Justin Bieber performs his classic Baby while celebrating his 3rd wedding anniversary with wife Hailey at the Met Gala.
I'm married now, so I think things just become more adult, I guess.
That may be so, but not so much so that he can't sing a throwback everybody loves. The 27-year-old singer took the Met Gala stage on Monday night in New York City to perform a few songs, including his 2010 hit Baby, as well as some of his latest music, like Lonely,
I'm so alone.
and Anyone. Biebs seemingly took a page out of Kim Kardashian's book, rocking a full face covering for his performance look.
I'm having a good time.
Fashion's biggest night just happened to take place on the same day the duo got their marriage license in 2018. And the couple celebrated in style as Justin and Hailey walked the Met Gala red carpet together for the first time. With Hailey in a form-fitting black strapless Saint Laurent dress, she paired with cool shades.
I think that is a big show of confidence to be able to just be like, this is who I am. Take it or leave it.
As for Justin, he donned his own fashion house in this sleek, wide-legged suit from La Maison Drew, a branch of his Drew House label, along with a pair of decorated Nikes with Hailey and their pup Oscar's names on them. The Biebers dished on their looks to Vogue before heading into the soiree.
Both of us love fashion, and we love being able to get dressed up and collaborate with cool designers, and, for him being able to come up with this and debut this really cool suit.
The model also shared some sweet snaps together on her Instagram story, one from the red carpet and one of her wearing a white bathrobe with Justin holding her tight.
He's really funny. We have a good time together. He's just really sweet. He's a good kid. He's a good heart, and I love him.
Happy 3rd anniversary to Justin and Hailey, one of the most stylish couples in Hollywood. Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Norm Macdonald dead at 61. Let's take a look at this video from Entertainment Tonight.
Norm Macdonald has died. He was 61.
I do the weekend update, the fake news. I might return to my first love, dance. I don't know.
The Saturday Night Live veteran's death on Tuesday follows a 9-year battle with cancer, a struggle that he had decided to keep private. After the news broke, Macdonald's comedy peers took to social media with their heartfelt tributes.
That's a little scoop for the viewers.
Jim Carrey wrote on Twitter, "My dear friend Norm Macdonald passed away after a brave 10-year battle. He was one of our most precious gems, an honest and courageous comedy genius. I love him."
I know this job looks easy.
It does look easy.
Conan O'Brien shared, "Norm had the most unique comedic voice I have ever encountered." Sarah Silverman told her fans, "Please do yourself a favor and watch his stuff. He was one of a kind."
Hey, check out the podium. Look at this.
Mr. Reynolds has apparently changed his name to Turd Ferguson.
The comedian was well known for his time on Saturday Night Live, including 3 seasons at the Weekend Update desk.
Well, a study this week reports seafood is good for you unless it's fried. Yet another groundbreaking story from the pages of the medical journal, Duh.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this Wednesday edition of The Morning Show with Riley King. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Have a great rest of your day. And see you tomorrow for another edition of The Morning Show with Riley King. Bye now.